In the heart of a small American town where life seems idyllic and safe, a tragedy unfolded. This is the story of Jessica, a 16-year-old high school student whose life was forever changed by the very people she trusted most. Jessica was an average teenager navigating the ups and downs of high school. She was a junior with a close-knit group of friends and a passion for art. Art was Jessica's escape, her way of expressing herself and coping with the pressures of adolescence. Jessica's family life was complicated. Her parents had divorced when she was young, and her mother struggled to make ends meet. Despite the challenges, Jessica's mother did her best to provide for her children. She was a loving and devoted parent, but her absence left a void in Jessica's life. Jessica's social life was vibrant, but she struggled with feelings of insecurity and loneliness. She craved attention and validation. Unknown to Jessica, her life was about to take a drastic turn, a turn that would lead her down a path of exploitation, abuse, and ultimately, tragedy. A predator lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike. Someone Jessica trusted, someone who would destroy her innocence and shatter her world. Jessica's life was a delicate balance of school, friends, and family. But beneath the surface, she struggled to find her place in the world. She was a teenager caught between childhood and adulthood, unsure of her identity or purpose. Jessica's mother, Karen, worked tirelessly to provide for her children. But her absence left Jessica feeling unmoored and searching for guidance. Karen's struggles to make ends meet weighed heavily on Jessica. Karen will often feel guilty for not being there for her family, but she had to work multiple jobs to be able to provide for her family. Jessica's academic life was a mixed bag. She excelled in art, but struggled in math and science. Her creativity and imagination fueled her passion for art. Jessica's passion for art drove her to excel. She dreamed of attending a prestigious art college and making a name for herself in the art world. "I want to travel, experience new cultures, and create art that inspires others. I want to make a difference. I want to be remembered." She always told Emily, who will in turn reply with, "You're going to change the world, Jess. I know it." Jessica's ambitions were within reach, but life had other plans. Plans that would shatter her dreams and change her forever. As Jessica navigated her relationships and pursued her goals, a sinister force lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike. A force that would exploit her vulnerabilities and destroy her innocence. Sarah had been Karen's closest friend since childhood. She was a constant presence in their lives, always willing to lend a helping hand. Sarah's charm and warmth made her a beloved figure in their lives. But beneath the surface, Sarah had ulterior motives. Sarah began to groom Jessica, exploiting her vulnerabilities and gaining her trust. She showered Jessica with attention and affection, making her feel seen and heard. With warm enthusiasm, Sarah cooed, "You deserve to be spoiled, Jessica. You're such a wonderful girl." Her tone conveyed deep fondness, wrapping Jessica in a sense of comfort and appreciation. Sarah's manipulation was subtle but calculated. She created a sense of dependency, making Jessica rely on her for emotional support. Jessica confides in Sarah about her struggles and insecurities. "I feel so lost, Sarah. I don't know what I want to do with my life." "You're so talented, Jessica. I believe in you. Let me help you figure it out," Sarah replied. However, Sarah's true intentions were sinister. She was exploiting Jessica's trust, using her vulnerability for her own gain. Sarah had a history of manipulating young girls, using them for her own financial gain. Sarah's warm expression transformed into a calculating gaze as she dialed a number, connecting her with a shadowy figure. The contrast between her previous warmth and current coldness was striking. "She's perfect," Sarah said, her voice dripping with manipulation. "Innocent, vulnerable, and desperate for attention. She'll do anything I say." A pause, followed by a gravelly voice, inquired, "And what's in it for me?" Sarah's response was swift, her words painting a picture of a sinister partnership. "A share of the profits naturally, you'll receive your due." Sarah's web of deceit was intricate, but her goal was clear: to exploit Jessica for financial gain. 6 months had passed since Sarah began grooming Jessica. She had gained Jessica's trust, exploiting her vulnerability and innocence. Sarah started by offering Jessica modeling opportunities, promising her a chance to become a famous model. Jessica, eager to please and seeking validation, agreed. The modeling sessions began innocently enough, but soon Sarah convinced Jessica to pose in provocative outfits and perform degrading acts. "Pose like this, Jessica," Sarah instructed, adjusting Jessica's arms and legs into provocative positions. "You need to look seductive, alluring." Jessica felt uneasy, but Sarah reassured her, saying it was necessary for her modeling career. As the sessions continued, Sarah's demands escalated. She convinced Jessica to pose nude, then to perform degrading acts. Jessica felt trapped, unable to escape Sarah's grasp. The abuse and exploitation were multifaceted. Sarah manipulated Jessica's emotions, making her feel dependent and isolated. She controlled Jessica's every move, dictating what she wore, who she spoke to, and what she did. Sarah sold the explicit content online, earning thousands of dollars. She used the money to fund her lavish lifestyle, while Jessica remained trapped in the nightmare. Jessica's world began to shrink. She withdrew from friends and family, ashamed of her situation. Sarah's grip tightened, suffocating Jessica's spirit. One day, Jessica decided to visit Sarah's room to borrow a book. While searching for the book, she stumbled upon a hidden folder on Sarah's computer. The images and videos inside made her stomach churn. Sarah had been recording their sessions and selling them online. Jessica felt a wave of nausea wash over her as she realized the truth. The reality hit her like a ton of bricks. She had been exploited, abused, and betrayed. Jessica's emotions swirled: shame, guilt, fear, and anger. She felt dirty, used, and broken. The full extent of Sarah's exploitation dawned on Jessica. She realized she wasn't just a victim, but a commodity, bought and sold online. Jessica's innocence was lost, and her trust shattered. Her life would never be the same. Jessica's discovery of Sarah's exploitation sent her spiraling into darkness. The weight of her abuse crushed her, suffocating her spirit. Jessica's grades plummeted as she struggled to focus. She would stare blankly at her textbooks, her mind consumed by memories of Sarah's manipulation. Her once sharp mind dulled, unable to grasp simple concepts. She withdrew from friends and family, ashamed of her situation. Social gatherings became unbearable, and she would fabricate excuses to avoid them. Her phone gathered dust, silenced by her inability to face the world. Jessica's physical health suffered. She lost weight, and her once radiant skin grew pale. Dark circles formed under her eyes, a testament to her sleepless nights. Her hair lost its luster, and her once vibrant smile faded. Substance abuse became her escape. She turned to alcohol and pills, seeking temporary reprieve from her anguish. The chemicals numbed her pain, but only intensified her shame. Jessica's room reflected her inner turmoil. Clothes littered the floor, and dirty dishes piled high. Posters once adorning her walls now lay torn and crumpled. Her creativity, once a source of solace, withered away. Her sketchbook gathered dust, its pages blank and untouched. Music, her favorite escape, fell silent. Desperate to break free, Jessica tried to confront Sarah. She mustered every ounce of courage, marching to Sarah's doorstep. "You're a monster," Jessica spat, her voice trembling. Sarah's expression remained calm, her eyes glinting with amusement. "You'll never escape me," Sarah sneered. "You're mine, forever." Jessica fled, defeated. Undeterred, she turned to online support groups. She poured her heart out in anonymous forums, seeking solace among strangers. But their stories only fueled her anxiety. Each tale of exploitation and abuse echoed her own, reinforcing her fear. Jessica's desperation grew. She began to contemplate drastic measures, running away, changing her identity, or even harming herself. One fateful night, she packed a small bag and fled to a nearby park. The darkness enveloped her, offering a fleeting sense of freedom. But Sarah's network of accomplices tracked her down. They cornered her in the park, their faces twisted with malice. "You'll never be free," one of them sneered. Jessica's hope shattered. She returned home, defeated. As the darkness closed in, Jessica faced a critical crossroads. Would she find the strength to escape, or would Sarah's grip consume her entirely? Jessica's desperation had reached a boiling point. The weight of Sarah's exploitation crushed her, leaving her feeling hopeless. Jessica's substance abuse escalated, numbing her pain but clouding her judgment. One fateful night, she stumbled upon a devastating revelation. Sarah had sold her exploitation videos to a notorious online ring. The news shattered Jessica's remaining strength. She realized she would never escape the darkness. In a tragic moment of despair, Jessica took her own life. The police investigation began with Jessica's family, who reported her struggles with exploitation and substance abuse. Detectives followed a trail of digital evidence tracing online transactions and communication between Sarah and her accomplices. Forensic experts analyzed Jessica's computer and phone, uncovering shocking proof of Sarah's exploitation. Detective James, leading the investigation, finally had enough evidence to bring Sarah to justice. "We have sufficient proof of exploitation, human trafficking, and child pornography," Detective James announced to his team. Sarah's arrest was swift and decisive. She was taken into custody, her facade crumbling as she realized the gravity of her crimes. The online ring was dismantled and its members were brought to justice. But for Jessica, it was too late. Jessica's family mourned the loss of their beloved daughter, their grief compounded by the knowledge of her suffering. "Jessica's death was a preventable tragedy," her mother said, tears streaming down her face. "We failed to protect her." Sarah's trial was highly publicized, with experts testifying to the devastating consequences of exploitation. The verdict was guilty on all counts. Sarah received a life sentence, her legacy forever marred by the destruction she had caused. Jessica's story became a rallying cry for victims' rights advocates, highlighting the urgent need for stronger protections against exploitation. Though justice was served, the tragedy of Jessica's death would never be forgotten.